Three Gorges Dam is in China. China is located in the continent of Asia and is the fourth largest country in the world. The dam is situated on the Yangtze River in the middle of Three Gorges. The Yangtze is the largest river in China and the whole of Asia, and it is the third largest river in the world. The Three Gorges Dam is the largest and most expensive hydroelectric power project in the world, costing an estimated $26.5 billion. There are a total of 32 turbines on the dam. Each one has the capacity to produce 50,000 kilowatts, making the total combined generating capacity of the dam 22.5 gigawatts of power. This is equivalent to the power of 20 nuclear power plants. There are many stakeholders of the dam, such as the international export and credit agencies and banks from Canada, Switzerland, Germany, France, Sweden and Brazil, which have heavily funded the project. Also, the Chinese government trade credit agencies have loaned the Three Gorges project more than $1.4 billion. Also, the China Development Bank has loaned $3.6 billion for the project, making it the primary lender. The stakeholders that will benefit from the dam are residents, as there's jobs created for them, electricity production and energy companies, and also the Chinese government. The stakeholders that will be affected by the dam are the local residents who have lost their homes and farmland, and also those people whose businesses and factories were demolished to make way for the reservoir. The dam replaces a coal power station which would consume 50 million tons of coal per year. This reduces emissions by 150 million tons per year. The dam is China's greatest renewable energy source. Also, the dam's electricity production accounts for 10% of China's total power supply. 200 million people are protected due to the dam's flood control benefits who live downstream in cities such as Xinjiang that are prone to floods every 10 years, which have killed 300,000 people in the century before the construction of the dam. While saving lives, the dam also cuts the financial loss created by flood damage. Shipping is now easier and safer, especially for big cargo ships with deep hulls, to travel upstream. This is due to the rise in water levels which have made the river deeper. There are serious safety risks of the dam bursting, posed by earthquakes, heavy rains and even terrorism. Over 360 million people live within the watershed of the Yangtze River. If the dam bursts, then millions of people who live in the cities downstream will be in danger. There is a rapid increase in the amount of landslides. This is due to the fact that the water in the Three Gorges Reservoir fluctuates between 145 and 175 meters each year. This destabilizes the slopes of the Yangtze's valleys and triggers frequent landslides. Also, due to widespread corruption and fraud within the local governments, the money which was set aside for ordinary people in the resettlement budget failed to reach them. This left many people homeless, living in make-do tents. Over 265 billion gallons of raw sewage are dumped into the Yangtze annually. Due to the dam wall, the sewage builds up in the reservoir where the water is slow moving. Previously, prior to the construction of the dam, the river carried the sewage and flushed it downstream and out into the ocean. A prime example of this is Chongqing, one of the most populated cities in China, located on the upper reaches of the river. Chongqing and many other cities along the river will flush tremendous amounts of waste, sewage and toxic materials which build up in the reservoir, threatening wildlife that depend on the river's supply of nutrients. Another major problem with the dam is sedimentation. As the fast-flowing water nears the dam wall, the flow of the water will slow down. This will cause the water to deposit any sediment it's carrying, which is known as silt, and this can block turbines and cause water levels in the dam to rise. The Yangtze River Basin was home to nearly 2 million people who were displaced and needed to be relocated. The reservoir submerged 13 cities, 140 towns, over 1,300 villages, 1,500 factories, and nearly 100,000 acres of farmland. 1,000 known archaeological sites and many more undiscovered ones were lost forever under the reservoir. 1,074 heritage and historical sites were also lost forever. Rising water levels also submerged the once beautiful scenery of the three gorges. This led to a loss in tourism. And finally, several species such as the Chinese river dolphin are threatened and may become extinct. While the project efficiently and effectively fulfills its purpose, it provides a much more efficient, cleaner and greener source of generating energy. It controls floods by holding back waters of the flood season, saving lives, and it also increases shipping. But with all these benefits come some serious problems too. Firstly, there's a massive increase in landslides and other seismic activities such as earthquakes, which threaten the dam and destroy people's houses in the valleys. This is due to the pressure on the ground from the extra weight of the water in the reservoir pushing down on the plate boundaries, causing stress in the plates. Secondly, there have been many problems with the relocation of residents due to fraud and corruption within the local governments. And individuals in the local governments have pocketed the majority of the residents' relocation fund. So, in conclusion, the dam has been successful for its intended purpose, but the whole operation needs to be tightly controlled and overseen by the Chinese government and other regulating bodies to stamp out corruption and getting those affected residents their compensation back. Also, they need to ensure that the dam is well protected from any threats and remains fully functional.